All right, guys, we're going to start here in a few minutes. Just making sure everything's ready to go. How's everybody doing today? Alright, let me get rid of all this stuff and let's get started here. Alright, what's going on, guys? We missed a couple of streams. Had a lot going on. Let me turn the music down, it's a little loud. So we missed our stream, what was that, Tuesday? We had some snow where I was living, or I live, so I had to go out and do my snow work. You guys know, same thing we've been doing for the past 8 years now. Basically, as long as I've been trading, I've been doing snow removal. So a little busy in the winter when it does snow. We're getting a little bit of late snow this year. Didn't really have any snowstorms until about now. I think we had one storm like a month ago. That's about it. We usually get ours kind of like towards February, March. Usually have a late storm. But yeah, we missed stream on Tuesday. We were going to do our Mudrex walkthrough on Tuesday, which we were actually going to do, I think, the stream before that, so we had to keep pushing it back. So we're going to do that first thing today. I'm going to do some little brief analysis on Bitcoin and whatnot, and then we're going to get right into the Mudrex walkthrough once people have hopped on the stream. I also have a surprise for you guys towards the end of the stream, which some of you guys who have been with our stream for a while, you're going to recognize it. It's a product that we've been working on for quite some time now. That's actually just got released in our beta version. In what we released it, I think, yesterday or the day before. So if you guys are in Discord, check out announcements. We have a download link for the beta of this program. Now, obviously, it's a program that runs on your computer. So if you guys are a little iffy about that, feel free to virus scan it or do whatever you have to do to make yourself comfortable. But obviously, we wouldn't do anything like that to you guys. But I know a lot of people are really worried about downloading programs like that. But just let us know if you guys have any questions or whatnot. We'll get to it towards the end of the stream. I'm going to do a little bit of a product reveal. Go over some basics and whatnot. I'm going to do a little walkthrough for that as well. We got a couple of walkthroughs today. We got a walkthrough of Mudrex and a walkthrough of our little product we got. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So for all of you guys who have been watching the stream, been following the Discord, we have all been long since like 6,800, 7,000. My average was 7,060, and we were looking for 8,400, 8,600, all the way up to about 9,000, right? So, if you guys follow the stream and you bought the dip around 68 to 7,000 and you held it to our first target, 8,400, our main target, you could have made a maximum potential of 24% without leverage. That's 24% flat. So if you were trading 3x leverage, 4x leverage, 5x leverage, that's an insane amount of potential there with little to no drawdown. We basically had zero drawdown. I started buying a little early, so I had a little bit of drawdown. But if you guys were in the Discord, one of the last things that I said about this move here was I was looking for one more wick into this pink zone here, and that's what I was comfortable with buying. And we saw one more wick just as I thought, bounced up, and we went all the way to our target around 8,400. Now, even if you guys haven't been following the stream, let me actually pull this up. I've been running a theory on Twitter. Let me pull up the thread. So I've been running a theory on Twitter for a while now. Since November 24th. We posted this in Discord even before this. Very shocked at how little engagement this got. I basically predicted the price move exactly from the bottom to the top, maybe off by $100 total if you took the bottom to the top. And it got little to no engagement, but we predicted it about over a month in advance. So just looking at this fractal from back in 2017, 2018, you could determine kind of where we were looking to target for this current move here. So you can see just that little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the kind of fractal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically where 6 was, you were looking at targeting was above 3 but below 4, right? So you're looking for kind of that 8400 range where that 6 is located. And you can follow along this fractal here. We kind of made some updates and whatnot. Even stuff like this where we predicted the failure downward almost to the dollar and then bounce all the way back up. It took a little longer, so you had a little bit of distribution here, a little bit of accumulation, and then it popped up afterwards. So a little bit of time decay. But after the time decay, you saw that perfect target. We were looking at 86 to 9,000, but like I said, there was a little bit of time decay, so we had to lower our target. We did this in Discord. We lowered our target to 8,400. And a couple of you guys messaged me who traded the setup, and you guys got out like right at 8,400. So congrats to you guys if you guys hit that move. It was definitely a really clean move, and really there was no worry during that trade. Basically, once you got in, you popped up, had a little bit of consolidation, then just popped up again 2 days later. So if you got in down here, you basically had no fear. So it was a great trade. Congrats to everybody who followed along. If you didn't follow along, go back and watch the streams. Go back and look at the Discord and see kind of how you could have played that setup. Because this kind of setup is very common, and we will see this setup again in the future. So make sure if you didn't follow along this time, make sure you're ready for the next time. But just an overall look at kind of what happened. Why did Bitcoin pump so heavily? You can see that we kind of had a daily Quasimodo here. We had like a daily accumulation, if you will. So we had that kind of impulse move down. We had that support, kind of a little bit of accumulation, failure downward to sweep that low. So you sweep the low a little bit. You had a swing failure here, popped all the way back up, regaining that level. And then you had some more accumulation, retest of that level, and then a pop higher. So if you guys are unfamiliar with a Quasimodo, it's basically exactly what you see here, where you see that kind of failure downward, and then you have that level created, and you fail the level, and then you kind of pop above it, and then you retest that level. So it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders, but it doesn't have to have like a perfect neckline or anything. The only thing that really matters is you create that level, you fail the level, and then you retest it. So if you guys are familiar with my accumulation distribution strategy, it's the same exact thing. So you fall downward, you create an accumulation, you can sometimes have little deviations below the accumulation. So once you regain that accumulation, you can take a long trade and you can put your stop loss in the accumulation, or sorry, in the deviation or below the deviation. So same setup. The thought process behind it is you have a value being created. So people find value. Let's just use this level as an example, say like 9,500, and then they lose that value, but then it gets bought up. So you're finding even more value towards that kind of lower range. And then when you go to retest that lower level, the value is once again being found at that previous level. So it's telling you that Buyers bought up the lower price, and now they want to buy the higher price. So you can see that the value is increasing here. And then you pop back up. So that's basically the main method behind it. You said CT is dying. Yeah, CT is really, the engagement's pretty disgusting. It's pretty low. Another thing that we've been talking about for about a month and a half now, we've been predicting this bull div for quite some time. The bull div is finally being triggered. It's not confirmed, but it is being triggered. So you do see that green bar on the Momo. This is on the weekly for Ethereum, so this could really start to rise if this is confirmed. So once we see the close on Sunday, that will be the weekly close for Ethereum. So if we see the close on Sunday and this Momo bar is green, that will be confirmation of this bull div. That is what we're waiting for. We could have bought preemptively kind of down here towards like the 125, 130 range. But I'm actually waiting for confirmation. I'm looking for this green bar to close. I would actually love for it to close above this weekly level here. So above 138. That would be fantastic. So watch for a weekly close above 138 on Ethereum. If it does close above 138, we want to see a target of at least like 160 to probably 180. So keep an eye on that. It could be a really big gain. You could look for basically bare minimum 15% and then 30% towards the high. So keep an eye on that. You guys have any questions about Bitcoin or anything before we start into our Mudrex walkthrough? Mudrex is a platform that I've been working on, or I've been building strategies on for about, I think, like a month and a half now. Time's been going by pretty quickly. I'm not entirely sure, but I've been building strategies on there for a little bit now. They contacted me on Twitter not too long ago, and they told me to check out their platform, so I did. And it's been a fun ride, man. Their platform's really clean. I've been testing out little strategies here and there. Haven't fully built out a strategy that I'm comfortable with actually live trading yet, but I am still back testing a bunch of stuff. Pete, you said Boeing is moving up after the missile intel came out. Yeah, we talked about that in Discord. So there's intelligence coming out about the Boeing plane that went down. Originally, Iran was trying to say that it was a technical difficulty. They were trying to basically cover up the fact that they shot the plane down. It was pretty evident to just about everybody that they shot the plane down. But nobody knew for sure. It was all kind of unconfirmed. But now they are basically confirming that Iran did shoot that plane down. So Boeing, they took a little bit of a dip because the plane went down. I think it was like 1 or 2%, nothing too crazy. We can actually pull it up here. So they dipped a little bit on the Iran news. It was right here. They dipped about 2%, but they recovered pretty quickly since the news came out that it was not Boeing's fault. The plane was shot down. It was not brought down due to technical difficulties like it was originally stated. Sadly, I called this out in Discord, but I never thought to buy options on this. So we definitely could have made a little bit of money. The problem with Boeing is Boeing's options are very expensive, so it would have been a weird play, but could have made some money. Hey, Cash, what's going on? Todd, Pete, not malicious, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys all being here. A little early for our stream. Typically, our streams are a little later, but my sleep schedule got destroyed, and then it came back, so now I'm kind of waking up a little early. I was awake at like 9 a.m. today. But alright guys, if you don't have... Oh, Bitcoin, look at that. Bitcoin just dumped a little bit. $60 million on the sell there. Was actually a pretty big failure. How big of a failure was that? That was a... It's actually a pretty big dump. About a 3%. About a 3% failure there. It's not bad. I'm still waiting on for a pullback to like 76, 75. That's where I kind of like. I thought you were starting. You think Bitcoin will have a slow bleed, or do you still think there's more potential upside? I think there's still more potential to the upside. That buy pressure that we witnessed from January 3rd to like January 8th was exceptional. It was some of the strongest buy pressure I've ever seen live watching on exo charts. So when I was on exo charts watching this play out, this delta buy pressure that we were seeing during that pump was some of the strongest buy pressure I've seen live. So I think that once it pulls back to like 76, kind of towards like the previous range, maybe 75, 76, I think we will definitely see some buy pressure coming in. Now, if we fail and get back into this range, I will be looking to short. So standard strategy, if we get back into the range, I'll look to short the value down towards like 68 again. So basically just if it kind of retraces downward here, we'd be looking to short this down towards the original range low. But if it does find support, or if it even dips a little below it and finds support, I'm still looking to go long here. Now we are failing the 200 EMA on the daily pretty much perfectly. It's a little scary. Also, if we zoom out, we can see this pivot from way back in September, which basically hit the price almost perfectly as well. So there's a lot of resistance here. We definitely could have sold. We definitely could have shorted around 84, but we did not. I missed out on basically all of this pump here because I was doing my snow job. I was called out, and we were out there for 19 hours, 18 hours. So I missed basically all this stuff here. Before I went to bed on this day here, we were showing a little bit of signs of resistance. It looked like it wanted to pull back, so I didn't want to hold my trade overnight. So I closed my long at 79. So sadly, my target was 84. I told everybody in Discord my target was 84. 84 was the number I've been watching for a long time. But sadly, I did what I do a lot, and I closed just a couple of days too early. But the profit that I took in was pretty massive. So we're up almost 15-20% on my main account just this month already. We're only like a week and a half in. I'm already up almost 20%. So even though I didn't hit my target perfectly, still exceptional trade. Basically no drawdown. I started with about 2x leverage. I could have went higher, but my main account typically trades around 2 to 3x leverage. But yeah, I sold a little early, 7,900. But like I said, the target was 84, and there were a lot of you guys who were messaging me and saying that you guys actually held till 84. So I'm good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad I was able to help you guys out in regards to that trade. But yeah, by the time I got back to my PC, we were already starting to fail downward, and I don't like the short here. You definitely could. You definitely could short this. It's a little late. I would like to see a little bit more of little more distribution before I take a big short position. Now, obviously, scalps are like short-term shorts. There's tons of plays here. I'm talking about kind of the longer-term daily setup. Now, if I'm sitting here looking at the daily waiting for a clean trade, I would like to see some more distribution here. or I would like to see price to push lower, and then you could find a long off these lows. I just don't like this little short here for the daily. Now, obviously, like I said, scalp-wise, or even like a daily trade, like just an intraday trade, you could probably find a trade there. But for a nice little long-term trade, I don't like this trade just yet. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. Maybe if we retest kind of this resistance up here and then we fail downward, I would like that trade because that would be, in regards to what I just said, it would be a little bit more distribution. So that is something that we would look for. 20% in a month. Do you use your whole account or to facilitate your position size? Yeah, so I always use cross. Cross is what I use every time. And I was using 2x leverage of my entire account. So on my main account, I've got two accounts, which I've only been typically trading on my main recently. But I have two accounts. I have a high risk account and I have a main account. My main account has a lot more money, but I trade with less leverage. My high risk account has less money, but I trade with much higher leverage. So the techniques, the plays on these accounts are different. So if you guys go and look at our monthly reports on our website, it will typically say main account, high risk account. So the high risk account, my average return is like 20, 25, 30%. Some months we did like 40%. Before we started monitoring the group, I actually had 250% in the first 55 days. But we didn't put that on our website because that technically wasn't during our monthly report. But my high risk account is quite good. I could definitely throw some more money at that account and probably use that as my main account, but it's a lot more stressful than my main. But yeah, this month is doing quite good. I think, I don't know the exact number, but we're up about 15 to 20%. I paid like 2% of my account in funding because I held on to that long for so long. You said, I think a daily close below 78 will precipitate into testing 75, and if that's broken, then 71. What percentage of your account were you risking on that trade? What's your risk? So I didn't have a exact number in mind, but here, let's see, I'll show you. So basically, I started buying my long around, I think it was actually here. I was holding this long for a very long time. So I had multiple opportunities to close this long, but I just didn't do it because I was looking for that 8,400. So I didn't close it here, I didn't close it here, and then I added on to it during these pullbacks, and this was my final add. I added one more time right on this candle here. Because I told you guys I was looking for one more failure into this zone. So we had one more failure, I added on to it, but if we broke the zone, I was going to let go of my trade. So my average was 70.61. I was looking at closing if we broke this position here. So about 3.5%, 3%, 3.5%. So times that by 2, I was using 2x leverage. So I was risking about 6 to 7% of my account if I was wrong. So it would have been a decent loss if I was wrong. And it really would have sucked if I was wrong because I was right multiple times before I would have been wrong. So it was a decent sized risk. Typically, I only risk about 3 to 5% tops. That trade I was pretty confident in, so I risked a little bit more. But alright guys, we're going to get started with our Mudrex walkthrough. Do you guys have any final questions on Bitcoin? You guys, so what we're going to do during this walkthrough is I want it to be kind of an interactive thing, so you guys can definitely ask questions, or you guys can just butt in and ask me to test something or whatnot. I want you guys to get involved. So while I'm doing the walkthrough, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want me to test out a little strategy or anything like that, feel free to just post it in chat, and I will get to it as soon as possible. And then after the walkthrough, if you guys stick around, we do have a little surprise for you guys who are not a part of the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you guys have already seen what we're going to show you. But I'm going to give a little walkthrough on a product that we just released in our Discord. It's in beta right now for free. So if you guys are in the Discord, go to announcements. Feel free to download the product. I'm not going to say what it is just yet. We're going to go over it here after the walkthrough. But yeah, we're going to do the Mudrex walkthrough and then the walkthrough for our product. So stick around. You said for me, I only risk 3% max on my account. Yeah, typically that's what I do. 3%, 5% if it's really risky. Most of the time, even less. Most of the time I'm in a trade. If it's going bad, I just cut it immediately. But alright guys, let's get started here. So let me go here. So if you guys do not know what Mudrex is, actually let me turn the music off here. Alright guys, so if you're just coming in, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough on the Mudrex platform. You guys don't know what Mudrex is. It's a platform that allows you to build trading strategies, algorithms if you will, trading bots that will trade for you without having to learn how to code. It is a simple drag and drop matrix that you can build many different strategies with, and it ties up with all these exchanges. Down below, we see BitMEX, Coinbase Pro, OKX, Deribit, Binance, and Bybit. So you can tie up all your strategies that you build, back test them, and trade them live on all 6 of these exchanges. So not only can you do that, but if you build strategies and you really want them to be traded by other traders, they have a marketplace that they have that you can actually sell your strategies on and have other traders subscribe to them and trade your strategies alongside you. And you can obviously make money while you're doing that. So let's get started here. So if you go to, let me go to my page over here. If you go to My Strategies, they have a Create Strategy button here, and it will bring you to their strategy builder. So their strategy builder, like I said, it's not going to be like a coding Pine script type thing like you would see in other platforms. It is a drag and drop system. So you have your buy block here, your sell block here, your stop loss, and your take profit. These are your 4 main things that go into your strategy. And then they have all the blocks over here on the left where you can start to build your strategy. So I'm going to show you guys how to build a very simple strategy that many traders are familiar with. So if you guys ever traded with moving averages, you've probably looked at a chart and thought, hey, I can buy when this moving average crosses above this moving average, and I can sell when this moving average crosses below this moving average. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how you would build that on the Mudrex platform. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in chat while I'm building. So first off, you can see there's many different blocks here. There's price block, indicator, pattern, compare, volume, trend, reference block, time block, and then you have all your connecting blocks down here. So for the moving average crossover block, what you want to do is you want to grab the compare block, because this block is going to be a block that takes one indicator, compares it to another indicator, or it could be price for that matter. I'm going to go ahead and take the compare block. You can go ahead and double click on this block once you've put it on your builder, and you can type in any indicator that they have in their system. So I'm going to type in moving average, and I want a exponential moving average. And for the second indicator, I want the same thing, moving average, and I want an exponential moving average. Okay, so this is where it's going to bring up your inputs. So this is where you're going to tell the Mudrex system, this block, what moving averages do I want to use. So I'm going to make a very simple strategy here. Oh, sorry, I need to click on parameters here. And we're going to put 10 and 20. Oh, let me go back to that and make sure I do cross up, not greater than. So we want, this is going to be our buy block. We want to buy when the 10 EMA crosses above the 20 EMA. So this will be our buy block. So just go ahead and click and drag, and then drag this to your buy. So this will be your first buy condition. Now we need to grab another, oops, I grabbed the wrong one. This is an indicator block. Let me go ahead and click on this, click the little trash can to delete. I'm going to grab another compare block here. Go ahead and tie it into our sell block. Double click on that, and you can type in moving average yet again. Or do an exponential. You could also do this with other forms of moving averages. And now we want to take our 10 and our 20. And we want to make sure we grab this and do cross down. You can see there's many different things that you can do here with the two blocks. But for this strategy, we are using a moving average cross strategy. So that is our very simple system. We have a buy block that is going to be when the 10 crosses above the 20. And we have a sell block when the 10 crosses below the 20. Okay? So if we want to throw in a stop loss, we can do that here. We can do a percentage stop loss, and we could put a regular flat percentage, or we could also make it a trailing stop loss. So for right now, we're not going to add a stop loss just yet. And this is where you could also add a take profit. So if you want to add a percentage take profit or a trailing take profit, you can do that here as well. Okay, so yet again, we're not going to do that just yet. So when you're done making your strategy and you want to go ahead and test it, let's go down to the back test. Oh, we got to give it a name first. Mudrex walkthrough. Let's go down to our back test here. So this is where you can see the different exchanges, the different markets, the different assets, what time interval you want to test it on, where you want to start your back test, where you want to end your back test, and what kind of starting balance do you want this back test to start with. So we're going to do BitMEX, we're going to trade the Bitcoin market, and we're going to trade the XBT USD perpetual contract. Now we're going to test this on just a, let's say, a 4-hour time frame. We want this to be long and short. And let's do a small back test the past 3 months. And we're going to use 1x leverage. It's going to factor in the fees for us, and we're going to do a starting balance of 0.01. Let's go ahead and start this back test. It's going to run the back test down below. It went ahead and finished very quickly. Let's go ahead and click on it. So then you can see the stats on that strategy that you just built. So we can see what period it's on, what's the date range, what instrument we're trading, and then you can see all the stats that you want to know. What are the returns on this strategy? We have 3.89%, so not too good on this strategy, but at least it's positive. It tells you how many trades it's taking. We took 20 trades. It tells you the returns versus the market. So what this means is, what did Bitcoin do in that time range? So in that time range, Bitcoin was decreasing. So we were able to get a 3.89 return, and Bitcoin was decreasing. So we actually were able to have a 10% return against the market. You have your annualized returns here, your profit factor, your winning streak, your Sharpe ratio, your average win to average loss, and your losing streak here. So we can also go ahead and click on view details. This will give you kind of a more in-depth, they'll give you more in-depth stats here. So you can see all the same stats that we saw on the previous screen plus more. So we have our average net profit here, average profit on your winning trade. You can see your losses. One of the main things on this window is the max drawdown. So you can see how much you would lose max in that time frame before you started to recover. your win rate, obviously. So we have a 30% win rate, not too good on that. Average win to loss 2.86, so that's very good. And then once again, you have your different factors. Largest win 21%, largest lost 8%. And then another thing you can do here is it shows you exactly where it took your trades in a very simple scale here. But if you want to look at it on an actual price chart, you can go ahead and click on this Pro button here, and it will show you on the price chart exactly where it took these trades. So you can see it bought there, sold there, bought there, sold there, and so forth. So it's actually currently in a sell. So we saw that during this big price rise here on Bitcoin, it actually bought down here around 7,300, and it just sold, I think, on this candle around 8,000. So it had a nice little gain here, and it's currently in a short. So let's go ahead and go back to our strategy here. So now that we have this result, let's try to make this better, okay? So what you can do is go ahead and close the back test. And we can start playing with the indicators. We can start adding more indicators, or we can just try something very simple like adding a stop loss or a take profit. So I'm going to go ahead and add a stop loss. So let's add let's say, this is on a 4-hour time frame, so let's say a 5% stop loss. And let's go ahead and just run this with a simple 5% stop loss, and let's see if it is better. So I believe we did 3 months last time. Let's take a look. Yeah, I did do 3 months. Let's make this long and short. 4-hour interval. Keep everything else the same. Let's go ahead and start the back test. Somebody in chat said change to a daily. Yes, let's take a look. We can actually run a daily simultaneously while running the 4-hour test. Let's go ahead and do daily. Since we're doing a daily, or let's keep it the same actually, we'll keep it 3 months. We're going to start that as well. So we're going to add notes here. Let's say we added a stop loss. That's this version. So it's going to go ahead and process these back tests. So what I found is if you don't use a stop loss or you don't use a take profit, the back tests are near instant. So if you're testing strategies without those two metrics, your backtest will be very quick. But if you're using a stop loss or a take profit, it takes a lot longer because it has to go back and determine where it would have stopped out or where it would have taken profit. So it adds more functions that the backtester has to go back and check. And from my understanding, Mudrex uses tick data. So if you guys don't know what that is, it uses the smallest form of data so it can actually see exactly where your trade would have entered, exactly where your trade would exit. So for that, for your live trading, that is very good because it will be very close or exact to what your backtest is showing. Do you guys have any questions while this backtest is running? Has anybody in chat actually used Mudrex before? What did you set your stop loss to? I think I set it to 5%. Let's take a look. I did set it to 5%. And it's not trailing. We're just using a flat 5% stop loss. Okay, here we go. We just finished our 4-hour. Let's take a look. Okay, so comparing this to the previous 4-hour, it actually did worse. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily actually performs better, but it takes far less trades because it's on a daily time frame. So on a daily time frame, just looking at a 10 moving average crossing a 24 moving average, we can see that we returned 8.7%. It only had 3 trades, but it returned 15.2% against the market. Because Bitcoin was downtrending, this was able to make positive returns. So if you were holding Bitcoin, you would have lost value, but if you were trading this strategy, you would have actually made value. You said, is the stop loss calculating the risk per trade on your account or percentage on the chart? Percentage on the chart. That's actually a very good point. I don't believe they have a built-in capital stop loss, but that is something that you could definitely recommend to them, which is a great idea. I never even thought about that. That is a very good idea. So let's actually go up here and make this strategy a little more complicated. Let's go ahead and take the stop loss off so we can keep this video nice and short. So we can just quickly drag these over, make some space. So let's add a little simple price block here. And what we're going to say is the close is increasing, or let's just say the close is greater than. Actually, I like increasing. Let's go increase. And let's do this on a daily time frame. So let's just say, let's say 1%. So how we're going to tie these together is we're going to use the AND block here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. We're going to bring the AND block over. I'm going to drag this to the AND block. I'm going to drag this to the AND block. And then I'm going to take the AND block and drag that to the buy block. So what this is saying is it wants to look for when the moving average is crossing up from when the 10 moving average is crossing up from the 20 moving average, and when the close price is going up by 1% compared to the previous close price. So let's actually add that as well to the sell side. So we're going to drag an AND block here. What I can do is I can just go to this. I can copy it, bring it over. So if you quickly want to copy these, you can go ahead and shift click, boom, 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 and it will copy all of them. Let me go ahead and delete that one. Go ahead and drag these over. Let me make sure I fix this here. Let's go decrease. Let's go to our back test here. And every time you add something, you want to add notes to make sure you remember what you're doing. So this one, we added a percentage gain or loss from previous candle. So we're going to use BitMEX again, Bitcoin. Make sure you switch this to long and short. We're going to use a daily, but because we're using a daily, let's go back a little further. So instead of doing 3 months, let's go back even further. Let's do a 6 month back test here. It went ahead and finished there. Okay, so that actually made the strategy worse. So now it's only taking 7 trades. The returns are negative 8.29%. The return versus the market is 25%. So it's still performing better than the market, but the returns are negative. Okay? Let's try something else here. Let's lower this. So instead of adding these blocks, let's get rid of our AND blocks here. Let's go back to our original strategy. So instead of adding the AND blocks, let's actually add an OR block to both sides, and let's come up with a new strategy. So for our new strategy, let's say we are taking a compare block here. Let's say we're taking price, and we're taking a Bollinger Band. Okay, so we're going to do close price crossing down the upper band. Let's go to our parameters here, Bollinger Band. This is on a daily time frame, so let's use a tighter Bollinger Band. Let's go to 12. Go ahead and OK that. This is going to be our sell block. Let's go ahead and copy this. Bring it over to our buy side. And make sure we change this to crossing up on the lower band. So what the OR block is going to do is the OR block basically says we are going to buy if this happens or if this happens. And the sell one is going to do the same. We're going to sell if this happens or if this happens. Okay? Another thing that you can do is if you double click on the sell path here or the buy path, you can create multiple strategies. So I could create another strategy here, and I'll show you what I mean. So let me go ahead and copy this. I could pull this to the sell side. So what we can do is we can double tap on this little sell trail here, and it gives you options here. Do you want to open a short position, close a long position, and do you want to reverse that long position into a short? So you can actually tell it what you want this to do. So for example, let's say for this one, we want this to do everything. We want it to open a short, we want it to close a long, and we want it to reverse a long. Okay? But for this one, let's go ahead and change this up a little bit. Let's say when the 10 crosses down the 12. Well, let's go a little further. Let's go 14. And what we're going to do here is we're only going to make this one close a long position. So what this little box, this little strategy here is going to do is once one of these buy conditions happen, if this condition happens, it's going to close our long. So this is almost going to act as like a tighter take profit, if you will, a trailing take profit, or it could be even a trailing stop loss. Okay? But this strategy here is going to do everything. This is going to be our number one sell strategy. Okay? So let's go ahead and run this and see how it does. We're going to add some notes. This is going to be OR block plus new sell strat. Okay. We're going to do long and short. We're going to go back 6 months, and we're going to go ahead and test this. You guys have any questions so far? Do you guys have anything you want me to play with? Anything you want me to test out for you? Now, obviously, don't give me an advanced strategy to test for you, but I can test something pretty simple if you'd like to see it. Do you guys have any favorite moving averages that you want me to test? So here we can see this strategy took 18 trades, which is much more than our 7 trades, and it's actually performing far better here. The profit factor is higher, the Sharpe ratio is higher, the average win-loss is actually lower than the previous strategy, but the returns versus the market and the overall returns are better than that previous strategy. 733.70. So how do you want me to use those? You want to use a cross-up strategy, cross-down strategy? What do you want to do? So let's actually, before we get into that, let's delete this block here and see, just using this new strategy that we created with the Bollinger Band, let's see how this performs. We're going to do a 6-month test, long and short. Deleted new sell strat. Let's go ahead and test that. We finished our back test here. Let's go down and look at it. Okay, if we remove that little sell block that we created, it does slightly better. It takes one less trade. It does 2% better on, or 1% better on the market, and about a 1% better on the regular returns. You want to test out the 10 moving average and 22 moving average, but not exponential. Yes, take a look. Let's go ahead and delete all these. Go ahead and create a new strategy here. Let's pull a compare block. We can actually just use one here and copy and paste. Moving average simple. And moving average simple. You want to use the 10 and the 22. Let's go ahead and copy this. Actually, let's go back in here, make sure we switch this to cross up. Let's go ahead and switch this to cross down. We're going to drag this over to our sell block. We're going to drag this over to our buy block. And let's test it out. This is going to be a long and a short. Let's do a longer test. Let's do a year. Or that's year to date actually, so that's not going to give us a year. So what we can actually do is you can click on this start date and you can pick any time you would like. So as long as you have the plan that covers the longer back test, you can grab as far as you'd like. So January 2019 to January 2020. Go ahead and test that. Oh, let's add a note here. This is, what is this? The 10 and 22 moving average. So that is completed. It has a 15.63% return compared to the market, which dropped 94.78. Or sorry, this actually performed negative 94.78 compared to the market. So the market did very well in the past year, but this strategy did not. The other strategy you guys want me to test in chat, let's take a look. You want to do the 7 moving average and 33 moving average exponential on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so you want to do a one simple, one exponential, which we can do. So you want to look at the 7 and the 33. Let's go over here. Oh, you want them both to be exponential. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Exponential. You want the 7 and 33. Let's take a look. 7, 33. Let's make these exponential. Seven, 33. And you want to test this on the 1 hour time frame. So we're doing 7, 33, expo, 1 hour. Let's do long and short. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. And let's do 6 months. Can you explain the return against market? Yes, so in that time, so this is doing January of 2019 to January 9th of 2020. In that time, Bitcoin performed very well. So if we can just do the simple calculation here. So if we take 94.78 plus 15.63, that is how well Bitcoin performed. So Bitcoin performed 110% since that date. Our strategy only performed 15.63. So our returns against the market are very negative, because if we were to just buy Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin over this time period, we would have made more money than our strategy made. Basically, if you see a red number on returns versus market, it's telling you that your strategy is not better than just buying and holding. This is like the buy and hold strategy. This is your strategy. Okay, so your 1 hour time frame did negative 47.68%, so very bad. It had 187 trades. Its returns versus the market were negative 10%, so not very good. Do you want to try that strategy in like a buy only, a short only, or did you want it to be buy and sell? This is buying and shorting. So if you want to do just buy and sell, what we can do is we go to this path here, we do open long position, and then we do close long position. And now we go to our back test. Let's run the same strategy, 1 hour. It's a long only strategy. And let's go ahead and start the back test. Okay, so now it's finished. Let's see. So about the same thing. It took a lot less trades, but the performance was basically the same. Negative 44% returns, negative 6% compared to the market. So we can test this on other time frames. So we can go ahead and I can actually show you testing many time frames very quickly. So we can do the 15, let's do the 30, let's do the 2 hour, let's throw the 4 hour on there, let's even do the daily. You can see you can run multiple back tests all at the same time. And here you go, they're all completing. So once they're all finished, let's take a look at them. Just waiting on the 15-minute here. Let's pull these up. And finally, the 15. And we'll compare this to the 1 hour as well. So let's see. So far, the best one looks like the 4 hour. So all of them are negative except for the 4 hour. The 4 hour is the only positive one here. We have a 3.66% return. It has a 41% return compared to the market. So it actually does quite well compared to buying and holding. Now, if we want to grab the statistics of this, we can go to our view details. And you can see our max drawdown was 17%, which isn't too bad. Our Sharpe ratio is 0.38, which is very bad. Basically, what you want to see in strategies like these is either a high 1, anything over 2, or 3 is exceptional. If it's over 3, it's very strong. You said, I think messing with a stop loss on it and a 10% should work fine. Let's take a look. So what we can actually do, another thing, we can go over here and archive these back tests. If you don't want to cloud up your back test system here, you can just go ahead and archive them. And I cleaned it up there. So let's throw a stop loss on here. You want a stop loss of 10%. Let's try it out. We're going to go down to the back test. We're going to add a note, added stop loss, 10%. What do you want to test this on? You want to test this on the daily? Let's take a look. Let's do 6 months on the daily. And you know what? Let's also do it on the 12 hour as well. So while that's backtesting, I'm going to go over a few of the different blocks here. So a very good block that you could use if you like moving averages, you could use a trend block here. So the trend block is used to identify bullish and bearish trends in prices and volume. So if you took a trend block and we wanted to do a bullish trend block, we wanted to look at the close, you could even do your moving average, or you could do just your price action. So for the moving average, let's say just a 10 moving average, right? 3 trend persistence. What this is going to do is for 3 candles, if your moving average is trending bullishly, that will trigger. So if we wanted to add this to our strategy, we can go ahead and throw in an OR block or an AND block or any of these blocks here to add it to our strategy, and that would either improve or make it worse. Let's go back to our backtest here, see if it finished. No, it's still processing. Another block you can use here is the volume block. Go ahead and grab one of those. You can look at a moving average period of the volume, and you can compare it to a different moving average of that same volume. So if we want to look at, let's say, relative spikes in Bitcoin, we could do the average volume of, let's say, 3 candles compared to the average volume of 30 candles, and this will give you a big spike in volume for that strategy block. So if you want to only trade massive spikes in volume, this is one of those setups that you would use. Okay. We also have the price block here. Price block is used to compare the price values between the current candle and the candle when the last trade happened. Users can define a percentage increase or an absolute amount. So this is a price block compared to your previous trade. Can you show a more advanced strategy, something you like? I think I have a stream strategy that we are building on stream that I could show off. I can't show off my other strategies that I'm currently working on because some of that stuff is a little proprietary. That's another thing with Mudrex. If you guys have your own indicators and you would like them on their system, you can actually talk to their team and get your indicators added on their system, and you can go ahead and trade and backtest your indicators directly on Mudrex. So as I said earlier, when you add a stop loss and a profit target or a take profit, it does make the backtester take a little longer because it has to go back and look through all of the tick data to see exactly where you would have closed your trade or where you would have opened your trade. This is actually a good thing to have. You should ask Mudrex to add a risk per trade of your account. I actually will. That's actually a very good point. Like I said, I never even thought about that, but as soon as you brought it up, that's very good. I will definitely mention that to them. Okay, let's take a look. So on the daily, this is your strategy with a simple stop loss. And this is the strategy on a 12-hour. So still, it's not performing very well. It's not performing past the market buy and hold. So you're actually losing money on these. Or no, actually, they are doing better than the buy and hold, but you're still losing money. So on the 12-hour, you are losing 14.48%, which is better than how the buy and hold performed. The buy and hold lost 21.38%. Same thing on this one here. It performed poorly, but it actually performed better than the market. So let's go to our stream strategy here. So let's go to my strategies. And let me look at the one that we built on stream. I actually don't remember this. What did we do here? Let's go ahead and back this just real fast to see what we were doing. Let's do BitMEX, long and short. What time frame were we using? We were using a 12-hour. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. And let's do 6 months. I'm not entirely sure what we were doing here, but let's take a look at it. So we are actually using two EMAs. We're using a 21 and a 50. We are looking at a cross-up strategy. We are also looking at a... Oh, this is a directional moving indicator, so DMI. So if you guys are familiar with DMI, we're actually looking at a plus and minus cross of the directional moving index. Bogus asks, does Mudrex Builder have any fees? So they have a subscription-based model. So there's a free system where you can backtest. Or I can actually bring it up here. I'll bring up the table for you. So here is their subscription model. So the free one, you get all the same indicators, all the same exchanges. You can do 100 backtest a month, backtest history of 1 week, maximum backtest period of 3 months. Parallel live runs 1, parallel paper runs 2, minimum tick resolution 15 minutes. So this is just for people who want to test out simple strategies, not too crazy advanced. And then once you want to get more advanced, they have a $16 per month where you can do 1,000 backtest a month, which trust me, you're probably not going to hit. Even when I was playing with Mudrex for 12 plus hours a day, I wasn't hitting that many. So backtest history unlimited, maximum backtest period unlimited. You can run mini paper runs. The minimum tick resolution is 1 minute. So if you want to just test out some strategies, this $16 a month one is perfect. And then it goes up even farther to $42 a month for the trader, $84 a month for the pro trader. So they have a subscription-based system. Let's go back to our strategies here. So we actually finished our backtest. Oh no, that was an old one. We're currently still doing our current backtest. So looking at these old backtests, the strategy wasn't too bad. 46% returns. Returns versus the market were 58% about. So nothing too crazy. It's not going to make you a millionaire, but looks like it's performing quite well. Very simple strategy, just looking at a moving average crossover along with a DMI. Let's take a look. It's actually opening, closing, and reversing. Opening, closing, and reversing. Yeah, so it's just using two strategies for both sides. Is that the returns you make in 6 months? Yeah, so whatever the backtest is, so this one was from June to December, so that's going to be a 6-month period. So these would be returns for 6 months. So if you wanted to go ahead and look at the details here, I can show you exactly where it took these trades. And you can see this is where all the trades are. So really nice buy here, but it looks like it's selling a little late. You had a loss there, stopped out, short buy, short buy. So it seems like this strategy is very good, but if I was looking at just a chart here, what I would fix is it seems like it's a little slow. So the entries are good, but it's just not taking profit where it probably should be. So once we finish this back test here, we can actually play with this a little bit and see if we can get this to be more profitable just with a take profit. Let's take a look here. So still performing quite well, 33% returns versus the market 68%. So it's doing well in a downtrending market. We obviously had a really big spike recently in Bitcoin, but overall the market's been pretty much downtrending. So this strategy is doing quite well compared to the market. We can look at the details here. Max drawdown of 22%, not too crazy. Let's take a look at the average profit. The average profit is 7.7%. The average loss is 2.4. The largest win is 25. Largest loss is 6. So our average win is 7.7. Our largest is 25. So if I were to add a take profit, you could be very conservative and put your take profit below your average win, or you could be a little bit less conservative and put your take profit in between your average and your largest. So for example, we could probably do a take profit at like 10%, and that might do quite well. So let's see, let's go to our take profit here, and let's put it at 10%. Now, I'm not sure what stop loss we're using. We're using a 6% stop loss here. So almost a 2-to-1. And let's go ahead and back test this. We're going to do 6 months. So I'm going to start wrapping this up here and once this back test is over. Do you guys have any questions, comments? Do you want me to test out anything for you before we start wrapping this up? This is just a brief introduction and walkthrough of Mudrex. We're going to be doing more videos on Mudrex in the future. So if you guys like this content, obviously, just stick around and we'll be posting some more videos using their platform in the future. Now, obviously, guys, all of these strategies that we're building on Mudrex, you can use live. So if you want to connect these to your trading account, to any of those exchanges that we said in the beginning of the video, you can connect those and have them trade for you live. So these strategies are not just something that you can backtest, they're also something you can trade. Can you show the EMA crossover settings on this strategy? Yeah, let's take a look. This strategy is using a 21 and a 50. And it's using a DMI of 2020. And the parameters are, let's see. Here's all the parameters for anybody who's using Mudrex who would like to copy this. +20 and a 20-. Same thing here, I believe, 2150. And we are also using 2020 on the plus and minus. Now, before I forget, let me go ahead and grab my referral code. If you guys do want to sign up and test them out, you can use this code to support my channel. Now, just a small disclaimer, guys. I am not being paid by Mudrex to make this video. If you guys sign up with that referral code, you will get $25 on sign up. You will also get an additional $25 in the next month if you are still active. Should be finishing up our back test. This is using 1x leverage, by the way. So if you added leverage to these strategies, could be quite good. Is it possible to add a stochastic crosses on Mudrex? Stochastic crosses, yep. You're looking for just the standard stochastics indicator, or are you looking for the stochastics RSI? So these are the stochastics ones they have. They have the stochastic RSI and the standard stochastic. So here are the settings that are default 14.3.3. You can put whatever you would like. You could look at the primary signal, the percentage K, or the percentage D. You have your advanced parameters down here as well. You're using 14.3 and 6. So we would have to create a new strategy to test this out, because this would be on top of this one here. So once this is finished, I will test that out for you. What do you want to look at for the cross? Are you just using a simple cross up, cross down? Simple cross up and down on the 12-hour. Gotcha. As soon as this backtest is finished, we'll take a look at it. Like I was saying earlier, guys, this is all on 1x leverage. So if you were to take this and build like 3x, 5x leverage, it could be quite powerful. So here are our results here. 29% returns, 65.13. So this actually made the strategy a little worse. So having the take profit actually hindered that strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this. We're going to go up here. We're going to go to My Strategies. We're going to create a new one. We're just going to name this stock. We're going to take the indicator block here. Look at the stochastics oscillator. You said 14, 3, and 6 for the parameters. Oh, sorry, I'm using the wrong block. Let's delete that. We want to use compare. Whenever you're doing like a cross up or cross down strategy, you want to use the compare block, not the indicator block. The indicator block is going to be a block that it just looks at an indicator value. So which line do you want to use for the crossing? Do you want to do a K cross D? Is that what you want to do? Let me know in chat. So K, let's do K crossed up the D. And then let's take this and duplicate and K cross down the D line. 14.36 are your settings. We're going to have a sell. We're going to have a buy. Do you want this to be a long only strategy, or do you want it to be long and short? Make sure everything's right. Cross down. Yep. Crossed up. Good to go. We want to do this on, and just to show you guys how many assets they have, you can go to Binance here, look at all the different markets on Binance, and look at all the different coins on Binance. I don't believe it has every single coin, but you can see here, they've got quite a few. So if you want to spend hours upon hours of playing with strategies and testing them and trading them, you can easily do it. Easily do it. So let's go to BitMEX here. We're going to do the past 6 months. We're going to do long and short. And we are going to do the 12-hour time frame. Go ahead and start that up. So it's already done. Let's take a look. So this performed negative 2%, but it performed 36.11% compared to the market. So it's doing much better than the market, but it's still performing poorly. So let's try this on a longer time frame. Let's do a daily. Let's even try like a 4 hour. And let's do a 15 minute as well. So the daily doesn't do well, 24%. It still beats the market, but it's still negative. The 4 hour is even more negative. Let's go ahead and get rid of these. It's going to go ahead and do the 50 minute. It's going to take a lot longer here because the 50 minute over 6 months is quite a lot of trades. I accidentally deleted the 12 hour one. Let's go ahead and run the 12 hour one more time so we can keep that back test. And you want to try the 12 hour with a stop loss and a take profit. What percentages do you want to use? So the 50 minute performs horribly. So don't ever use that strategy. It had 3,153 trades. That's a lot of trades. Most of your losses are probably in fees. Take profit 10%, stop loss of 5. Let's take a look. This is going to be the last thing that I do, guys, and then we're going to close up the video. You're looking at a 5% stop loss and a 10% take profit. Let's go down here, add a little note. Added stop loss and take profit. We're doing a long and short, 12 hour. Go ahead and start that up. So this is what we're comparing it to. We're going to be comparing it to a 2% negative returns, 58 trades, very bad Sharpe ratio. Profit factor is pretty bad as well. Has an 8 losing streak, so that's really bad. The drawdown's probably pretty decent. Let's take a look. The drawdown is negative 37%, so quite a lot of drawdown on that trade. You can see it takes a lot of trades. It's almost like a scalping. It actually had a really good trade recently. So it looks like it does very well in the breakouts. So if you were able to add on to this strategy to have a system where it can determine if the market is trending or the market is not trending, you could probably turn this into a very good strategy. So if you told it to not trade during these little consolidation points, you would have given up a lot of losses. But see, when it's trending, look at these trades. You have a small loss here, but then it wins that trade. It looks like it wins that trade. Small win there, small win there, small win there. So it looks like during these trends, it does very well. But during the sideways action, it doesn't do well. And you can go back and look at your trading equity curve compared to the price curve. You can see when it's consolidating, it doesn't do very well. Lots of losses. How would you make it not trigger during? There's many different ways you could do that. You could use different price percentage points. So you can say when the current candle breaks over X% higher than the previous candles, that would give you something of a breakout. You could even do like a relative volume type thing, because typically when there's high periods of relative volume, you're going to be breaking out of ranges. You could do many things. You could look at how moving averages are comparing to each other. So is the moving average moving away from the previous moving average, X percentage, yada, yada. Many different things you could do there. That would be something that you would have to play with. Okay, so with the stop loss and the take profit, it does way worse. So it does much better when it does not have a stop loss or a take profit. Yeah, exactly. He said, I think the regular 12-hour without the stop loss and take profit with alterations to make it not trigger in consolidation is very good. Exactly. So you could get on Mudrex, put this system on there, and then just start playing with different ways to make it not trade during those consolidation periods and only trade during those breakout periods, and you would do quite well. But all right, guys, that is the end of the video for the Mudrex walkthrough. If you guys like the content, I will be posting my referral code in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. I posted it in Twitch chat if you guys are watching live. If you guys like the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button or follow button on Twitch. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are watching the live stream, we're going to be continuing the live stream for a little bit here. That's going to be the end of the Mudrex highlight. What I'm going to be going over here, A Smash, he said, how do you always trade breakouts? Seems Bitcoin breakouts always work. No, Bitcoin breakouts do not always work. It's actually one of the assets that traps breakouts probably more than any other asset I've ever traded. Bitcoin is very, very good at trapping breakouts. But all right, guys, so the thing that I wanted to surprise you guys with, if you guys are a part of the Discord, you already know, this is going to be a new program that we are going to be releasing. It's currently in beta, so if you guys are in the Discord, go to the announcements section and you can test it out for free. But what it is, we're calling it AutoMex. It is a BitMEX tool. So if you guys are BitMEX traders, it is a little trading terminal. So instead of having to use BitMEX's site and running into all the different problems with their site, you can just pull this up and use this program, or you can use them hand in hand. But it has many different features here that can help you out. Here, I'll show you some of the stuff. So two of the main functions that we like are spread orders, which I'm going to actually show you how to use them here in a second. So spread orders are available for limit, stop, market, profit market, trailing stop. And the following example below shows you how to use them. I'm going to actually show you live. We also have chase orders. So a chase order is, have you guys ever traded on BitMEX and you're looking to enter in a trade and you put your limit price right on the bid or the ask, so the closest price possible, but then somebody front runs you with a bot? So the chase order is that bot. We have a bot built in that will front run orders. So when price is moving from, let's say, 78 to 79, or even smaller functions, 78 to 78.01, it's going to chase that price. So it's going to guarantee that you never pay fees. Never. So if you use chase orders along with post only, you will never pay fees. It will fill you at the best possible price every time without paying fees. The only dangerous thing about chase orders is if the market is moving very rapidly, it's going to follow the price. So like, for example, if you want to trade 7,800 and then price breaks out to 79 very quickly, it's going to keep following the price dollar by dollar. But if it never pulls back, you're never going to get filled. So I'm going to show you exactly how these things work. I have it hooked up to my bot, or sorry, I have it hooked up to my account. This is a Dust account, obviously. So it actually shows you your balance down here. It shows you your Bitcoin, and it shows you your dollar value balance. So here's my little Dust account that we have. I'm going to use this for the video. Let me pull up the little AutoMex here. You can see we have the last price, we have the mark price. You can trade the different instruments on BitMEX. We're going to use Bitcoin for the example. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what the chase order does. And I'm going to leave that blank. Let's see, quantity. We're going to do, let's just do $1 just to show you how it works. And we're going to do buy. So it's going to give you a little confirmation window. Limit chase order 1 USD 97.70.5. Why is it doing 98.99? Oh, this is on a testnet, I believe. I think I have my thing set up on a testnet. I do have it on testnet, I believe. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I have mine set up on testnet. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's not on testnet actually. What it's doing is the numbers in that order window are set up on testnet. So I think that's something that was actually posted when you downloaded the program. But okay, so it is following price here. I'll show you exactly what it's doing. So look at what it's doing. It's following price. Let me go down to a lower grouping. It's putting me right on the bid. So if this goes down, it's going to fill me. If it goes up, it's going to chase. So hopefully it goes up so I can show you what it's doing. Actually, I can do both. I can do both. So here we go. Now we have both. So now I've got one chasing on the ask and one chasing on the bid. Okay, so see, I got filled, but now my bid's not filled. But look at my bid. Now my bid's climbing. So the order is going to follow the bid price all the way up. You see that? You see how it keeps moving? It's going to keep moving my order to get closer to the bid. So I'm going to let that get filled. I'm going to lose a little bit of money, but it's going to be like a penny. So another thing we can do spread orders. So let's say we want to do quantity 1, spread, let's do $10. Total orders, let's do 10 orders. Starting price 0, it's going to start exactly where it is. Let me cancel these for now. Let me close this just so we don't have it running. And let's go ahead and buy. And look at what it did. It quickly placed all of my spread orders. 77.96, 77.86, 76, 66, all the way down. You see that? You can also do this on the sell side. See? Very quick. Cancel all open orders. And then it cancels all my orders. I don't get what this is doing. It's allowing you to do things that you cannot do on the basic BitMEX website. It's a terminal that we built that allows you to expand your trading abilities. This is not for beginner traders. This is not for beginners. So if you guys are beginners, this is not for you guys. This is for people who trade on BitMEX like every day, basically. And you guys are looking for different tools for market making, looking for tools for spread orders, for bots that will follow the bid and ask price for you, so you don't have to keep canceling and re-putting in your orders. We also have a retry on overload function. So if you're trading during a very high volatility time, if you're used to getting overload on BitMEX, we have a function that will prevent, well, it's not going to prevent overload, but it's going to make it very, very easy to get your orders filled during overload. So this is in the Discord. It's free to download. if you guys are in the Discord, go to announcements, download the program, test it out, see if you like it. Please, if you're using a lot of money, make sure you're on testnet. It's a beta, so we haven't encountered any major issues, but it's still a beta. So make sure. No, this is a dust account. This is a dust account. This is not my main trading account. I've got like 4 BitMEX accounts. This is a dust account. This account just collects referral fees. So I have one of my accounts trading that just sends its affiliate fees over to this account, and that's basically it. It's only $150. It's like nothing. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions about the system. It has a built-in chart as well if you want to look at a chart. Very, very helpful. But alright guys, that is it for the video. That's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate you guys being here. I will be streaming again on Saturday, as well as Sunday. Make sure you guys stop by the stream on the weekend. You guys have any final questions, concerns, comments, anything? What's your general view of Bitcoin right now? Still think we test higher. So it's hard to say what we're going to do right now. I don't really care like what it's going to do in the next few hours. But I do want to see overall more distribution or a lower failure. So I'm not going to be buying here. I would rather buy lower, or I would rather sell higher. So anything in between I don't really care about. If it starts to fail the resistance up here, I think it's a good short. If it starts to bounce off support, I think it's a good long. Anything in between, you're going to get chopped out. So I'm not really looking for anything in between. I'm looking to sell the highs or buy the lows. Everything in between is just distribution, and you're going to get chopped. Unless you're scalping like the low time frames, it's not worth it. We do have a 1-hour bull div that tried to play out there and then it got nuked. You had a sell signal come in on the trail. You're approaching the 200 EMA on the 1 hour, but nothing too crazy. I think it's going to do a lot of chopping in the next day or so. But alright guys, that's it for the stream. Appreciate you guys being here. I will see you guys Saturday and Sunday. No stream tomorrow. If you guys have any questions about AutoMex, make sure you post them in Discord. We'll get to them as soon as possible. I think that's it. Even, yeah, Mudrex as well. If you guys have any questions about Mudrex, let me know in Discord, and I'll help you guys out. Alright guys. Peace out. Have a good day.